Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. What about you?
Yes, I'm pretty good. Not too bad. So, how can I help you today?
Okay, so first of all, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is David.
David.
That's correct.
Okay. Are you a teacher?
I am.
Okay. So what do you teach?
Where do I teach? Around Southeast Asia and Japan.
Okay, from Japan. Okay, so what do you usually teach on Cambly? Like what people
What do I
ask you
teach on
to.
Cambly?
Yeah.
Whatever the student requires. It's completely up to the student. Some people come on here for business classes, which is what I do. Mostly
Okay.
people want IELTS test preparation because that's my job.
Okay.
I'm an IELTS test instructor. Some people want me to correct maybe emails to their boss, maybe presentations they have to make, variety of things basically. But whatever the student asks for, if I can do it, then I'll do it.
Hmm. Okay. Else, that's good. Uh, okay. So let me ask you, like, if we have to introduce to someone, if anyone asks us, like, please introduce yourself, what kind of things we have to include, we should include.
Depending on the situation, all depends on what the situation entails. Now, for this kind of thing, now to be honest, we're on Cambly and you're here to learn English, so I'm not going to introduce myself by giving you all the details of my life. What's the point? It's not going to benefit you in any way. So that's why I only said my name in this situation, and that's appropriate.
Okay.
If you're in a job interview, now that's a different scenario altogether. So if you're going for a job and they ask you, obviously, which they always do, is okay, please introduce yourself. Then you've got a standard set of information that you give. Obviously, they know your name, they know all the details about you because they have
Yes.
your resume. That's why you're in the job interview. So, what you do is you keep it brief, but you give your basic details. You say, obviously, where you come from, what you're doing at that moment in time, whether you're working or not, a little small part about your brief work, maybe your educational background, but you keep it very, very simple. You only give basic details because anything they want to know, they will be asking you. It's a job interview. So in that situation, there is a standard set of things that we might be giving. But then all depends. If you're in another situation, there might be something slightly different. So yeah, it depends on the scenario, basically. But your basic
Okay.
information, you don't give too much because if they want to know, they're going to ask you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what if, like, any stranger we meet somewhere and he asks us?
Well, if you meet a stranger, for example, I met a stranger last night and yeah, well, he asked me, he introduced himself. He said, okay, his name is so and so. So I said, well, my name is. And then, so where do you come from? And then, okay, I found out where he was from. What do you do? What's your job? Basic information. But if you meet somebody, then that means you're in a conversation. So you're going to be asking each other for that information. You don't just surrender it all immediately. Then
Mm-hmm.
what's the
Yeah.
point of talking? So yeah,
Yeah.
every
That's
situation
good.
basically would mean something different. It's like that simple, isn't it?
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. It depends on the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So, is it like possible for you to teach me a vocabulary we can use in our daily life,
What do you mean your daily life? Now,
like common words
basically,
maybe?
basically, all vocabulary is vocabulary we use in our daily life.
Okay, so let me think. What to say? Okay, so if like food is delicious, or I usually know like 3 to 4 words. So what to say?
Right.
Like, what are the other words to tell that food is delicious?
Now, basically, then what I would suggest you do is if you've got, now this is called your lexical resource. Okay. Now, what that means is the amount of words that you know and can use in conversation. Okay. That part of when you're doing a test, it's called your lexical resource. Basically, if I was examining you, I would have to mark you on your lexical resource, which means the amount of words you use. Now, let me give an example. Now, for example, you just said about food. Food can be, you
Mm-hmm.
said delicious. Okay. So basically, if you were continuously talking about food and if you kept saying the word delicious and this was delicious and that was delicious, Now, basically, that would mean your lexical resource would be quite low. Okay, so, but then that's why we have lots of words that mean the same thing. So if I said, oh, the food was exquisite, okay, it's delicious, delicious, exquisite. It tasted like heaven. Okay, so now I'm going to be using phrases and idioms. So I can probably describe the taste of food in about 25, 30 different ways. Okay, so one way you can sort that problem out is basically something very, very simple. Just go on to a good thesaurus. Do you know what a thesaurus is?
Sorry?
Do you know a thesaurus?
Could you please try?
Yep. Do you know what a thesaurus is, first of all? Okay,
Cinnamon.
dictionary for synonyms, yeah, basically. So what you should do is make sure all the verbs and adjectives that you use in your daily life, the common ones that we use to talk about anything, and they might change depending on your job, obviously. Make sure you have, I call it your armory. Your armory is the equipment. So make sure you have enough words to deal with that situation. For example, I teach IT companies a lot. Now, when I go into an IT company, they all know the word, they know the word change. Now, for example, if I asked you to change a piece of code that you have just written, okay, now
Replace.
you have no idea how much I want you to change it. It might just be a small adjustment, okay? So then I would use adjust with, maybe use my adverb to say how much. Sorry, I can't spell. So I might ask you to adjust it, which means I want you to change something small. Then I'm going to put slightly because it's something really small. Okay, so now if I want you to change, everything. For example, I'm going to say, right, we need to change this department. It's not working as we set out it to work. So then we might talk about revolutionize. We might revolutionize this company, which means change everything completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see, so that's the kind of thing you can do. And that's one of the secrets of English, using it in a good business sense, is if you're in a presentation or a meeting, now the word change, adjust, revolutionize, if you're using one of those ones that tell you how much, that's how you can be a bit more specific in what you're saying. Now, if I went into a meeting, I said, I'm going to change this company. Or if I said, I'm going to adjust this company, it sounds a bit nicer. Or if I said, I'm going to revolutionize this company, everybody's going to be worried because they might lose their job. Okay, so you can see that would be the power of using those words. Choose.
Yeah.
I'm going to adjust a few things in this company. Okay, everybody's not panicking because they're probably going to keep their job. I'm going to revolutionize this company. Everybody's going to be, oh my God, we're going to be out the door. Okay, so you can see. So that's like something you can do yourself. Just look on thesaurus.com. It's pretty good.
Okay, you got. Okay.
Okay, any questions?
Okay, so what about the idioms?
Be careful with them. Learn. They're good to learn because we use them every day. It's understanding them is better than actually remembering them, because you will hear native speakers use them continuously without even recognizing them. I have to be honest. Most people don't even know their idioms. They're just sayings that we use in everyday life. But
it is.
Be careful using them, though.
It is better to use idioms whenever, like, we talk with any professional teacher, because some common people don't understand those idioms.
They're just basically what native speakers, they don't even know what an idiom is. The majority of native speakers, if you say the word okay, you are using an idiom. The majority of native speakers will say idiom. What are you talking about? Because we don't learn them as being an idiom. They're just things that we say in everyday life. For example, if you told me, right, say you've been for a job, and I said, okay, how do you think you did in that interview? And you said, no problem, got the job. Then I would say to you, don't count your chickens. Now, that would just be a natural reaction. That's the first thing that comes into my head. Don't count your chickens. That means, okay, don't think that you've got the job when maybe you haven't. There's a chance that you haven't succeeded. So don't be overconfident. But the full thing is, don't count your chickens until they are hatched. So don't look at your eggs and think, hey, I've got 12 chickens. Maybe only 8 of them will come. So that's why we use that. But we even shorten it because we all know it. I would say, don't count your chickens. Yeah. Or another one, I might say you've had something good that's happened to you. Okay, you've had something good, and then something bad, and then something good again, and then something bad again. then I would say to you, if you were telling me about, I would just say the word swings. Now, what it means is swings and roundabouts. It sounds stupid, but
Okay, what is
swings and
meaning?
roundabouts is it's basically how we describe life. Okay, you have good days, you have bad days. You have good days like a roundabout. Good days, bad days. Swing back and forth, back and forth. Think of a park. A swing is something you sit on and go back and forth. So good, bad, good, bad. Roundabout, life. Good
Okay,
days,
so
bad days, good week, bad week.
how to use it? For example, please make any sentence.
No, I would just say one word. Now, if you, like I said, you said to me, right, okay, I've had a funny week. I had a good day Monday, a bad day Tuesday. Wednesday was okay. Thursday was great. Friday was a disaster. It means it's good, bad. You're swinging back and forth. So then I would just say to you, swings and roundabouts. It means life is sometimes good, life is sometimes bad. That is life.
Okay,
Yeah.
simply
But
like
I would
swing,
just shorten it.
swings and
Yeah, I would
roundabout.
shorten it to swings. Yeah. But to my friend, I would just say swings because we know it means swings and roundabouts. Everybody knows in native speakers, we all know exactly what that phrase is about. It would
Huh.
just be me making a comment on what you've told me. It's not anything profound. It's just basically that saying means that is how life is. Things are sometimes good, sometimes
Hmm.
bad. That's life.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody knows that these kind of things we use without thinking. I wouldn't even think I'll use an idiom here with my friend. It's just like that's how we react because that's how we speak.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
But be careful with the idioms. Only use them if you're confident using them. Don't try what a lot of students do, especially on an IELTS examination, is that I can be teach or examining somebody, and what you will see is students will have maybe, I don't know, a series of idioms inside their head, and they'll be trying to throw them in the middle of answers. Now, what
Okay.
you find is that does not work. Only use them if you know how to use them.
Okay. So you
Don't just, if
teach.
you throw them in, sometimes it sounds ridiculous. So yeah, be careful.
Okay, you teach people. You teach students from India, also.
I've got Indian students on here. I've never taught in India. I've taught in Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, a few countries, but I've never taught it. But I've got lots of Indian students on here, of course.
Okay, Japan. That's good. Okay, so any
Okay.
student from Punjab?
Punjab, yes, of course, the Punjab. I grew up around Punjabis. Obviously, in the United Kingdom, we have obviously a big shared history with India. So I grew up around Sikhs. Two of my friends, Gulja, Gulja Singh, Satnam Singh, two of my best friends. So yeah, of course, I know a lot
Okay.
of people from the Punjab.
Haha, that's good. Good to hear.
People will be surprised is actually, if you look at the United Kingdom, obviously we see like British culture and Indian culture. Now, obviously, because of the history of what happened with the United Kingdom, with Britain in India, then basically India is part of, we see it as a bit of our culture too. It's like the national dish of the UK is not fish and chips. The number one ranked dish in the UK is chicken tikka masala. It's that simple. So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, it's a bit of a shared culture there. I think like that's where I live. And I got like Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis living all around my area. It's like just normal.
Okay. So now, are you living in Thailand or UK?
No, I'm in central Vietnam.
Sorry?
Central Vietnam.
Ah, okay.
Vietnam.
Okay.
Vietnam is
Mm-hmm.
obviously next to just below China, next to Laos, Cambodia, not far from Thailand.
Why you left UK?
Why? Why not?
Okay, so
Why would I want to?
you're originally from UK, now?
Yeah, of course. From
Okay. So any specific reason you came here?
no, not really. It's okay, you don't want to stay in one place all your life. It'd be boring.
Ah,
So, and obviously, Southeast Asia is much hotter and has nicer beaches than we have in the UK. Obviously, life's good over here. Life's okay.
okay. That's good. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, bye. See you.
Okay, no problem. Have a good day.